I'm going to show you how to make the secret cave entrance with a removable waterfall. This is great to add to your D&D campaigns. It can be used as a regular cave entrance or a waterfall, or as we used it in our last campaign, as a secret cave entrance hidden behind the waterfall. The first step is to create some shapes from foam. For this I used a hot wire cutter, but you can also use a Stanley knife. Foam can have a really toxic smell when you use a hot wire cutter, so make sure you wear a mask and you're in a well ventilated area. For the shapes, I made random cut-offs and then stuck them together until I was happy. Once you're happy with the general shape and have glued the bits together, you can use your Stanley knife or hot wire cutter to further shape the foam. Make sure to leave a flatter surface at the top so you can connect the waterfall later on. I like to keep all the cut-off scraps for other projects, as you never know when they might come in handy. For the waterfall feature, I started with a cut-off bit from an old plastic bag. You can use any plastic bag for this, but be aware it can show through the waterfall, so make sure that you use something clear or a lighter colour. I used some masking tape to hold it in place. Then you can take your hot glue and cover the whole surface where you want the waterfall to touch. Whilst the glue is still hot, you can mould it and shape it to imitate running water. Once the glue has hardened, you can pull away and cut off the excess bits of plastic around the edge. I wanted my waterfall to run into a stream at the bottom, so I used an old silicone base to catch the hot glue and then ran some more lines down the base. Silicone is great to use with hot glue as you can peel it off really easily. The next step is to cover everything in a layer of Mod Podge. I mix this in with black acrylic paint as it acts as a really good base coat primer for the painting. I advise you do a few coats if you are looking to handle the model often. I then use sand and mini stones to texture the base of the cave. Next up, I used a blue Vallejo water texture and coated my waterfall. If you wanted to go for a more natural coloured water, you can use gloss Mod Podge for this step instead. To get a glossy finish, I used some UV resin over the top of the Vallejo water texture. I then added water droplets at the end of the waterfall using the UV resin too. I gave the entire cave entrance a heavy dry brush with a light grey. To add some ripples and texture in the water, I created little waves of gloss Mod Podge and used a straw to blow it around. Next up was the oil washes. I used homemade brown oil washes for the stones and a more purple colour for the water, as I wanted it to look magical and unnatural. I added some final touches of static grass and I made some moss from Citadel paints and cotton wool. And we are done! Let's take a look at the finished project.